All right, guys, welcome to our Canva tutorial. So my interface is going to look a little different from yours because I am using a MacBook. So bear with me. Most of the features are very similar, so you should be okay. So the first thing I want to do is go to Google Classroom. Here, I haven't posted the link yet because I'm going to upload this video when I'm finished here, but there's a link here for Canva. You're going to click on that and it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. So I already have an account, so I'm going to go over here and click log in with and then log in with Google. However, you do not have an account. So you're going to click sign up with Google. You're going to click your email and you'll get signed in. Now you might have an extra step. Like I said, I already have an account, so it may have bypassed some of those initial features. So as long as you sign in with your school account, you should be just fine. Now what we're doing today is creating the format and the layout of our informational writing piece. So if you look at the rubric, we have a couple of things that we have to include. The first one of those is a heading. So keep that in mind. What you're going to want to do is click on Create a Design, and there are tons of different options for you to choose from here. What I want you to make sure that you're doing though is clicking on US Letter Document, because that's going to give us the setting that we want so it's printed a lot easier. It prints smoothly. Now this is an 8.5 by 11, like we would normally run through a printer. You want to go up here and type this in. You want to put your first initial, last name, and then whatever you have as your title. So mine, to no surprise, is going to be about coffee. What I'm going to do first is create an element. I'm going to type in rectangle, and I'm going to look at the different rectangles to choose from. Now I like this border. You have a couple different ones to choose from. Just remember that it needs to be aesthetically pleasing to your reader. So the more simplified you can be, the better that it's going to look once you print it out. So I'm just going to do this basic square. I'm going to shrink it down to be the size of a header. And as you see, the purple little markers here are going to help you make sure things are centered and aligned properly. So if I want to do that, and I can go in here, I should be able to pick a heading of some kind. We'll do coffee. This one looks cute, so I'm going to spin it to the side. And then I'm going to line it up with my box. Now notice it does cut off some of my picture, but we can get back to that here in just a second. If you double click, you can drag and complete your, oh, excuse me, someone's at the door. You can drag and complete your picture here. So you click done, and that now becomes my heading. I think I'm going to bring it out just a tad. Maybe not. I don't know if I love that one. I think that fits my style a little better. Cool. So now that I have my heading, you do have to put your text on your heading, which means you want to mess around with the transparency. So if you click on the grid up here where it says transparency, you can drag it to where you can have a little more freedom with your text on the top. So I'm going to click my heading, insert up here. Stretch this out. I want to make this white. I think it'll pop a little more. Oh yeah, that's good. Maybe make it just a little bigger. add a subheading. I don't know why it does that to me. Drag this out. Now I'm double clicking on the text to highlight it all at the same time. And you want to make sure that this is aligned. You see how the pink lines really help you center and align things? Make sure you are using that. Oh, I don't know if I love that. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Okay, there we go. You can also use the arrows once you single click on something, the arrows on the keys to help you place things exactly where you want it, because it is hard to click and drag sometimes. So there we go. Coffee, a hug, and a mug. And then I'm also going to bold this to make it stand out a little more. Do another subheading. Include my name. Change the font to white. Okay, now this is where you want to stay fairly simple because you don't want to overwhelm your reader. So you're going to create your heading and you want to align it at probably like a 14 size font, and then stretch it out to go about halfway across your page. To zoom in, you can push, on my computer, it's Command plus. I think yours is Control or Alt plus, and it's going to zoom in. That way you can read it better. So you're going to say column 1, and then duplicate, and you can drag over here to create column 2. Now notice on both of these, I don't drag it all the way to the border here because the printer will cut some of that off. So you want to make sure you're leaving a little bit of space on each side of your columns. So now that you have this set up, you are going to open your document in Google Classroom or in Google Drive, and you're just going to copy and paste your information here and format it. So what it should look like when it's finished, the designs, it should look something like this. Now I did tweak the text just a little bit. It's called a Leo, but notice that it's nothing that's cursive-y, it's nothing frilly or fancy. It's just very basic and it's easy to read. That's going to be a huge factor in your grade. It has got to be easy to read. Notice that my headings are just a little bit bigger. They're an 18 size font versus a 13 size font in the text. And I have the headings bolded. I need to make sure I include a picture here with my caption. Now yours can be up at the top if you'd like, or it can be on this side. Just make sure you have the space for it. Now I've been playing around a little bit with my spacing because I need just a tad bit more to insert a caption over here. So I'm thinking that I might tweak it just a touch and maybe go over a little bit more to fit the needs of my writing. Now, I don't know if you can tab over and create the indentations. I just did 5 spaces, so you might have to do that as well. My is it worth it? I'm probably going to knock over just here a tad to make more room for my picture, whatever I decide. So obviously I need to square this off just a little bit to kind of give it that square space. But you want to make sure that you find a graphic that is relatable to your article, that helps get your point across better. I've been looking at graphs from the CDC that talk about the consumption of coffee in America and how that's increased over the last decade. But I just haven't found anything that's tripped my trigger yet. So still working on that, but I wanted to show you what yours can look like. Notice I do give myself a little bit of a border up here as well, and I added a little white space for my text. You can make it as complex or as simple as you'd like. This example over here is more simple in its nature, but that's totally fine too. So hopefully that's helpful. I want you to play around with different fonts, nothing too crazy. You want to make sure that it is readable for your readers. You don't want any twisty, curly fonts, probably no script fonts. So anything that looks like handwriting you want to avoid. You want to keep it very professional. So anything, okay, of course that's okay, cool. So keep it very basic, keep it very clean, and that'll get you a long way. So let me know if you have any questions. Start playing around with your own. If you need to watch this video and work on yours, you can totally do that, but I do want you to at least get started and use this video as a guide.